Welcome to Coach's Corner Café. Thanks for joining me here again on this Monday afternoon. No school today for the kids, so that's a little bit unusual, but so they'll come in a little early and get their lift before practice. Anyway, that's beside the point. So we're going to review the Delphos game, preview the New Bremen game, and then Spotlight is going to be the Chain Gang crew, and then our player spotlight is I'm going to double them up here. We're getting close to the end of the season. So Mason Link and Ethan Thomas, we'll get to those two here in a few minutes. So let's back up, go to the Delphos game. Score was 41-7. We missed an extra point at the end, just by a little bit there. So we never like to miss those kicks, but we did miss one. Delphos unfortunately came in with several players hurt. I think 4 or 5 starters, and a few of those guys are two-way starters. So you could really say 6, 7, 8 positions were backup guys, and so I feel for Coach Schulte and his staff, because they always do a really good job, and over the years that's just been a battle for us every year, and as you know, several years ago they had one of the best winning percentages. Still have the record for the most consecutive wins, up there in I think in the high 60s, maybe something like that. But Coach Schulte does a great job, and they always mix things up and have a good plan and play hard. And unfortunately for them this year, with low numbers already, and then all these hurt guys, it just makes it difficult for St. John. So we played really well, though. We did 2 things that we're really happy with. We only had 2 penalties, and one of them was really unusual. One on a kickoff where you can't be over the 35-yard line or be behind the 35-yard line. And one of our players had his foot a little bit over the line and got called for a penalty. And then there was just one other flinch one, so only 2 penalties for 10 yards and no turnovers. So that was key. We did not punt. At all again. So our punter actually is a really good punter, Owen Kunk, but he's not getting much action. I guess fortunately for the team, and maybe unfortunate for him, getting his punts in. So again, the score was 41-7, and we feel good about that win. Other than we did have two injuries. Jack Ebbing, who's a starting linebacker and running back for us, had dislocated his shoulder really early, the first day of hitting, I think. And so he had come back and rested it and was feeling pretty good, and he popped it out again and during warm-up. So we did not let him play, and hopefully he'll be a day-to-day, week-to-week, and we know he can play, so we don't need to hit with him much in practice at all, and hopefully we can get him back. And then Caden Obringer's a sophomore who dislocated his elbow on a kickoff, and it was kind of ugly. But Dr. Broering was out there and got it back in place, and so he feels like maybe miss the regular season and hopefully come back for the playoffs. So that's unfortunate for those 2 guys. Hopefully Jack can he's going to keep playing, and then we'll see if he can play this week or not. Hopefully we get Ethan Elander, who was a really good special teams and playing O&D as a rotator and doing a really good job. So hopefully we'll get him back. So moving on to New Bremen. New Bremen comes in at 3-4. They were the defending state champs, but lost a lot of really good players last year. So they're 3-4 coming in. Their quarterback had got hurt early in the season, and he's back, and they're using a little bit of one of their best players. Number 1 is a receiver and DB, and so he played a little bit of quarterback against St. Henry. So we don't really know for sure what we're going to get offensively for them. So they're struggling a little bit scoring points. Just can't quite seem to maybe find their rhythm or find what they really want to do. But I'm sure they'll have them coached up and ready to go this week. Defensively, once again, we're seeing a lot of these 3-man front, 3-4 teams. And so we've had several weeks of this. So I guess that's a good thing that we're seeing all these 3-4s, because it keeps it consistent. They do blitz a lot, so that makes it more difficult, just like St. Henry blitzed a lot. And of course, Marion in a couple weeks blitzes a lot. Versailles actually is a 4-man front, so that's one of the few 4-man fronts that we'll face the rest of the year. So like I said, they come back. They come in as, or we go there, I guess, as defending state champs. So they've got kids that are proud and are going to play hard, and you know, they're well coached, and so this is one of those games that we're hoping our kids aren't thinking, well, they just got beat last week, and so they're going to be down, and Coldwater's got Versailles and Marion coming up, and they're not going to be thinking about us, and hopefully we can keep our kids feeling the same way they have the last couple weeks, and play hard and do what they're supposed to do and keep improving. So we're going to New Bremen Friday night, 7 o'clock. We're moving on to the spotlight. Two groups, the Chang Gang and then a couple players, like I said before. But the first group is the Chang Gang. So Tony Stammen, Joe Weigel, Steve Worms, and Joe Overman have been at this for several years, and they're a fun group of guys that are pure 100% Coldwater guys, have grown up here, lived here. They tailgate, I think, before the game and after the game, and have a nice setup right outside the stadium. And this is just I don't know, a random thing with those guys. When I graduated from high school, they're all about 5-6 years older than me, and me and my good friend Rod Hoyne, coming out of high school, they took us on to help, not help, but to play softball with them in the summer for Layfeld. Back then it was called Layfeld Implement. And so that was fun. And so I got to know those guys as a really, you know, as a 18, 19, 20-year-old playing softball, and they kind of took us under their wings and had a lot of fun with those guys. And then the fifth man of the crew, Aaron Worms, is Steve's son. So those five guys have been doing it for a long time and enjoy it. Tony actually is one of our bus drivers too a lot of the time. So really good group of guys that love Coldwater and love to support the Cavs. And then player spotlight, we're going number 37, Mason Link, and number 60, Ethan Thomas. Like I said, I'm going to double up so that I can get through everybody by the end of the season. So Mason is a fullback, linebacker, special teams guy for us. Now he's one of our, and really both of these guys are role players for us. Mason is on all the special teams other than PAT, and does a good job there. And then he's a backup linebacker, and he played a lot last week. We said that Jack Ebbing was out last week, so he got the start and did a good job. Was in on 3, 4, 5 tackles, I think, something like that. Really good, just a good role guy, and you know, I enjoy having him around. He understands his role and helps out with the scout team, and just has been a really good team player for us. And Ethan Thomas, a very similar situation, but he's number 60, and he's an O&D lineman, backup, and is on the PAT team. And it's tough for those. We only have three defensive linemen that play, so it's tough for the backups to get in there. But Ethan has, you know, just been again another role player, been program guy for us. Actually, interesting thing, he loves lifting weights, and he's probably the strongest guy on our team. And he's also going to join the military, from what I heard on the PA the other night, on senior night. So we appreciate that, Ethan. That's awesome. So those two guys have had a good attitude in a difficult situation when you're not playing as much as you would like, and so we really appreciate that. And Ethan helps us on scout team and works with Coach Sudoff on defense and Coach Hewer on offense. So much appreciate those guys that are role guys, especially when they're seniors. And fortunately, these last 4 or 5 games, we've been able to get those guys in, and especially in the second half, and get them some reps and have some fun. So this week we travel to New Bremen at 7 o'clock, and then gosh, we're already at week 7. So thanks for joining me, and looking forward to seeing some of you at the game.